10 wisdoms for the human life. Wisdom number 1. Believe in infinite universes, maybe even identical universes. Believe in the multiverse theory. In our world, which is very polarized in thoughts and has a lot of different opinions, perspectives, and targets set by people, it is very important to believe and to have a foundation in a worldview which doesn't polarize the truth and shrinkens therefore the wide perspective and reality of truth towards a few words or ideas. And therefore the multiverse theory is the ideal starting point to argue away every polarized and absolutizing thought which is not close towards the truth of reality. It is not a theory which proves something, because we don't know if there are other universes. But this thought concept is the best way to discredit any belief system which tries to force you into a perspective which is not correlating to reality. The second truth: you are free to not follow your interests. In our world, we often define freedom through something which we can do, through something what we want to break free from. But I would challenge you to think around this way, to start to see freedom as something completely different, not as something which is necessary to change, but only to let go. Freedom is not a force, but the acceptance that change is possible. And therefore, the freedom to not follow your own interests, to not follow your preferences, to challenge yourself, your own ideas, perspectives, and even habits, to become something new. This does not mean that it will be better, but at least you will have the freedom to change. Wisdom number 3. Live with a level of speech, behavior, and work life which you are sure to manage. Often we want to achieve something which is far beyond our possibilities. I don't say with it that it is impossible. I want to say with this that reality is not easy to change. It takes a lot of time, effort, discipline, and a strong will. So if you want to change yourself and want to achieve a style of life, first of all, make sure that you are capable of living in integrity with this style of speech, with the style of behavior in social and private situations, and the amount of workload and work life which will be necessary to achieve what you want to achieve. Only if you calculate all these informations through and you become sure that you will be able to manage it, then start to go into this direction. Wisdom number 4. Curiosity and optimism are the only healthy attachments. In our world, we define attachments very subtle through other words. Love is in a lot of situations defined as some sort of attachment. And therefore, it is defined in a way which will have consequences for your life, which will make your decisions not only dependent by yourself, but also by another person, without judging what is better or what is not. I want to tell you the 2 attachments which are for sure in all situations good. And this is curiosity as well optimism. All other attachments have risks, can make you being dependent, and altogether lead you away from the life you want to live. Wisdom number 5. If you get confronted ad hominem, just ignore and continue your thoughts. In a lot of arguments nowadays, in a lot of discussions, people do not really argue. We are just unhappy or have other excuses to stabilize their worldview without knowing that every belief which we have in this world is not the complete truth. Therefore, it is necessary to accept that even the best what everybody believes is only an approximation for truth. And therefore, when you get confronted ad hominem, this is a clear indicator to not interact, to not react, but to just continue to explain what you believe, what has proven usable and helpful in life, and to explain your opinion, what is right to do and what is true. 6th wisdom. Books are a key to become eloquent and rich in thought. Nowadays, we live in a society, in an age, where a lot of information is very fast pacing and stimulating neuronal system so fast that we are not able to deeply think about the interesting ideas and informations which we receive. Therefore, it is very important to support yourself in your speech, in your thought, and in your richness in language through media which are helping you to be quiet and calm, so you are able to think deeply about it. Books are here one of the best media. Therefore, reading and thinking about what you read in depth will lead unavoidably to an eloquent and rich language. 7th wisdom. Any model or any theory is in the best case an approximation of reality. never believe that something is an absolute truth. This does not mean that we now have to doubt everything. It is more implying that information cannot be exactly transferred from one person to another, and very often is so much compromised that it is not an exact representation of reality. Therefore, always keep this in mind and do not expect a theory to be an absolute truth, so that you become able to still challenge your own assumptions. Wisdom number 8. Strive for 80%. Expect 80%. Enjoy everything above. In a world where perfectionism is very dangerous for the own well-being, it is important to not overestimate your possibilities, your time, and expectations. Stress is very dangerous, very unhealthy, and therefore a good balance is necessary to keep a healthy lifestyle. With this said, 80% is only a number. You have to decide by yourself what 80% means, and therefore create own examples in which situations, what type of investment of energy and time will lead towards 80%. If you get more, if you achieve 90%, you can be happy. If you achieve less than 80, when you have to ask yourself why this happened. With this attitude, it will be more easy in life to stay in a healthy balance between expectations, effort, and results. Wisdom number 9. Learning discipline and a calm attitude is the most important key to healthy growth. In this life, there are many situations where shortcuts appear, fast ways to become intelligent, to become rich, to become healthy, and so on. The reality is, although maybe even some of these shortcuts work, they have not a long-term impact. And therefore, it is very helpful to understand that only through discipline, which creates in the end habits, you can change your character in the long term, which will lead towards a lifestyle which is not only defined by impulses and your own will, but by your character, created by habits. Furthermore, the calm attitude is also necessary, because in a world where emotions catch people, inspire people, and a strong voice often leading people astray from deep, rational decisions. A calm attitude is showing that the person is not only able to be loud and emotional, but also able to give information and to present opinions without being emotionally attached to it, and therefore not trying to force something, but to know by experience that this way is a possible way of life. Finally, wisdom number 10. Connect with people who have passion and rationality. Passion and rationality are, in my opinion, one of the most important character traits which a human being can have. Passion alone, without rationality, is leading towards chaos, confusion, and a lot of different impulses which are not healthy for a human life. Rationality, on the other hand, without passion, is very critical, not helpful, and in many cases also not optimistic. Which can lead to issues with mental health and difficulties to connect with people. Although this is not a statement of fact, the correlation is there. And therefore a combination of both, a combination of passion and rationality, is the most secure way to connect with people who are most likely really helpful for your life. Because the rationality is indicating the structure, the discipline, the deep thoughts behind the actions of a person. On the other hand, the passion is showing the curiosity, optimism, and happiness of life, which is indicating that this person is not only intelligent, but also lives a healthy lifestyle, and therefore is able to not only give information, but also to encourage other people to find their own passion. With this being said, I would like to finish this video. I hope you enjoyed my personal insights. If you like it, you can subscribe to this channel and repost it to other people. And if you don't like it, please leave a comment. Which ideas are not truthful, so that I can improve, learn more, and discuss with you what can be made better. Thanks for your attention.